I stopped wasting time, I started to make over $1,000 a day in profit with my business. And in this video, I'm going to share with you everything I did step by step so you can become financially free too. But since it's probably the first time you and I meet, why should you listen to me? My name is Fred, and I went from having only $400 over 5 years ago to starting a profitable done-for-you lead generation service for entrepreneurs, and then transitioning into consulting and making over $1,000 per day in my early 20s. So on this channel, I'm sharing with you not only my journey as an entrepreneur, originally from the lower middle class, but also step-by-step strategies so you too can become financially free. The first thing I did in order to stop wasting my time and to make upwards of $1,000 per day in profit in my early 20s, it was to become crystal clear on exactly what I wanted and why I wanted it. Over 5 years ago, I desperately wanted to become successful. And at the time, to paint a picture of the kind of person I was, I had big goals, big dreams, but I was a massive procrastinator, a massive overthinker, and I was afraid to take risks. I was holding on to the little money I had when really I had nothing. So when you have nothing, you are in a position of power because you have nothing to lose. But basically, I desperately wanted to become successful. Coming from a lower middle class background, life wasn't always easy for us. I was always frustrated because of lack of money. And for that reason, I made it my duty to become successful. All of my life, I witnessed my parents breaking their backs only to earn breadcrumbs, to be treated like shit at work. To give you an example, my mother worked as a nursing assistant. So at night, she would go to the hospital and she had to take care of extremely violent patients, criminals, folks that got into knife fights with gangs, drug dealers. So it was a very dangerous job, and she was getting paid a small amount for it and being treated like shit. And I saw the same thing happen with my father, and that made him depressed. And so growing up, we had a very complex relationship. It wasn't easy, honestly. And so while I could see my family struggling, at the same time at school, I would see these wealthy kids getting dropped off in extremely expensive cars that my parents could never have afforded, and they would always go on vacation. So every time after the summer break, they would tell stories of their vacations to Rome, to Italy, to New York City. And during the summer, I would see it on like Snapchat Spotlight or Instagram or whatever, while I was forced to stay stuck in my tiny room all summer because we couldn't go on vacation. And so from a very young age, I always realized that like, if you had a lot of money, you would live an incredible life. But if you didn't, you would suffer a lot. And for that reason, I made it my duty to become successful. I didn't believe in the traditional path, in the normal way of doing things, because I knew if I were to act like most people around me, I would stay low middle class for the rest of my life. And I didn't want that, because what I saw growing up is that the dream that all of the adults around me were essentially accepting was that they would work all of their lives for an employer who doesn't care about them, to pay an extremely high amount of taxes, and all of that to be underpaid and undervalued. And one day they'd be able to retire at 60 to 70 if they're lucky, collect social security, a very small amount of it of course, and then finally they'd be able to live the life of their dreams. And so me, waiting most people around me waiting for retirement to finally live life, in my mind I was like, how the fuck is that a good idea? How the hell is this a good deal? You work all of your life, you wait for retirement, and only then when you're 60 or 70, you might have 10 years to enjoy your life. When you're old, tired and exhausted from all of those decades of work and of dealing with chores and responsibilities and kids and family, then you can enjoy life finally. How does that make sense to people? And so I figured I can't follow the traditional route and end up extremely successful. I had to find an alternative route, and that's when I discovered entrepreneurship. You could be a business owner, but the problem was to open up a brick and mortar business, it required hundreds of thousands of dollars, lots of startup capital, and obviously coming from the lower middle class, how the hell was I going to essentially find $100,000 or more to open up a business? But one day, when I was about to turn 12, I stumbled upon a YouTube video that completely changed my life. It was a guy, an online entrepreneur, who explained how he made over 70,000 euros, so about the same in dollars, in the last month with just a laptop and a steady internet connection while he was traveling the world. And I would watch his videos, and it was extremely impressive because the guy was what people call a digital nomad, meaning he was always traveling all over the place, and he would stay in these very luxurious hotels, and I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like it before. We've never done anything like that with my family growing up. And I figured, damn, if I made 70k in a month, I could do whatever I want. Can you imagine right now what you could do with $72,000 per month? You could do anything you want, and not just for yourself selfishly, but also for the people that you love, for your family. You would change not only your life, but the lives of so many people. It's crazy. And that's when I realized the internet was the best opportunity to make money we have ever seen. And even though I'm a massive overthinker, a massive procrastinator, I thought, you know what? I need to get started. With my best friend of the time, we'd often joke about it because he would see on WhatsApp the last time I had been active. So in the morning, he would open up the chat we had together and he would see the last time I had been active, it was at 4 a.m. even though I had to get up at around 6:30 in the morning so I could go ahead, take the crowded bus just to go to school. But I was doing my research, watching all these YouTube videos until 4 in the morning. That was crazy, but I learned so much. But one thing I realized is that I tried different business models, you know. I tried growing Instagram team pages. With that friend, we also tried dropshipping, but we only lost a lot of time and a lot of money because the truth is most of these business models, they're not made for beginners. And the best advice I can give to beginners who want to start a profitable business, be able to quit their 9-to-5 job and obtain financial freedom is that you need to pick the right vehicle. You could be working extremely hard, but if you work on the wrong thing, you won't get great results. You need to really understand that. And I speak to lots of people every week, and one thing I've realized is that the people who chose the wrong opportunities, they always failed. And by wrong opportunities, this is what I mean. If you are a beginner, do not sell physical products, god damn it, because physical products have a 5% to 20% profit margin, meaning if you made $10,000, you would only keep $500 to $2,000 before taxes. So the effort to reward ratio simply isn't worth it. And I never saw any success online until I transitioned into selling services and selling consulting. And it's with this business model I've seen the most amount of people go from nothing to making 6, even 7 figures per year and even more than that. But when you start a consulting business, it allows you to have high profit margins and to only work with a few customers because you charge high ticket prices. So if we do the math together, you would only need 10 clients at $1,000 each or 5 clients at $2,000 each to make $10,000 per month. Whereas with dropshipping, you would need to sell hundreds of $50 products and most of it wouldn't even be profit. Not to mention that to get a shot at making a business model like dropshipping successful, you would need a big budget to begin with because you'd need at least $5,000 to $10,000 to spend on paid advertising. And if you can't afford that, I know I couldn't at the time, you are only going to lose your money and your time. So do not make the same mistake I did, please. And by now, I've helped dozens of my clients to find success and to go from 0 to 5K to 10K per month with their own consulting business. If you want to see some more success stories, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below. And to help you, I have recorded a free video in which I'm going to share with you how you can follow a simple 3-step process to start making serious money online. Or you can also directly apply to book a call with me or my team and we'll see if we can actually help you to build your business. Now the next step is that you need to become selfish. I would have never been able to make over $1,000 a day in profit if I hadn't become selfish, if I hadn't decided to lock in, block out all distractions, block out all the noise and just focus on building my business. Now when you do this, at first it's not easy. I'm not going to lie to you because even some of the people that you love, they might not understand exactly what you're doing. They love you, they want to spend more time with you. So your friends, your girlfriend, boyfriend, or even your parents, they might not necessarily understand why you're so dedicated to your work. But what you need to do, regardless of all of that, is to just lock in, put in the work, and then you'll be able to show them, look, I'm signing customers for thousands of dollars. And they'll be like, oh my god, wow. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's what happened to me, and it's also what's happened to plenty of my students I've mentored. And the day you have your first sale, it's insane. I will remember my first sale on the phone forever. So yes, for a while, it might be uncomfortable to lock in, to remove all distractions, to uninstall your video games, or to stop watching movies, or to stop going out. You'll be focusing on your work, you'll reply less often to messages. So some people, they're gonna get pissed off. Okay, well, let them, because you're busy building. And if you can just take those few months to build your business, in 6 months, you can do what most people never do in 2 years. And if you can build your profitable business, your life will never be the same ever again. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make. It's a sacrifice all successful entrepreneurs are willing to make, because I live and breathe by the quote, you have to work for a few years like a slave in order to live the rest of your life like a king. But most people, they want to live like kings and queens, but never do any work. Come on, you can have anything you want in this world, but it won't come without rolling up your sleeves and putting in the fucking work. On this channel, I promised to give you raw, honest advice to help you to build a business. I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm here to tell you what works. You take it or you don't. It won't change anything for my life. Now, the next step after that is something that will genuinely change your life. You need to start exposing yourself to luxury and wealth more often. So what do I mean by that exactly? Wealth and luxury, it's really another world. Because while some people, they talk about the price of bread, like, growing up in the lower middle class, my parents, they will always complain about the price of food, like lettuce, bread, things like that. And I completely get it, because when you are in a difficult financial situation, you have to look at every dollar that you spend, every cent that you spend, because every cent, every dollar matters, because you have a very limited amount of it. So it makes complete sense. But staying like that your whole life, it doesn't. It wasn't your fault if you were born broke, but nowadays, especially if you live in a first world country, you have so many opportunities to build great wealth, so what's your excuse? But when I say start exposing yourself to wealth for luxury, luxury? What I mean is, go to the affluent areas in the cities around you. You can literally just enter the Rolex shop, pretend you're trying to buy one. You can just go to the Ferrari dealership, take a look at the cars, look at how impressive they are, and look at the price tag. When I was a kid, I did that with my father. I begged him to go to expensive dealerships like McLaren, Ferrari. We also went to Lamborghini, we saw Bentley, we saw all kinds of cars. And I really wanted to open up his mind to possibilities, because he was often, I guess, jealous of wealthy people, understandably so. But at the same time, if you put in the work, you can have it yourself. And that's why I really wanted to show him, like, look, this car is more expensive than our house. Look at what's possible. And that's much better than a vision board, because you can see a car like, let's say, a Ferrari online, you take a look at pictures of it, and it's wow, it's impressive, it's amazing. But if you see it for real, it's like your dream materializes. And maybe you don't care about cars. Well, you could go just look at an expensive restaurant. You can go to an expensive mall, look at the price of the clothes. You can walk into the Rolex shop, walk past it if you're too afraid to go in it. And what it's going to do when you start exposing yourself to wealth and to luxury more often is that you're going to realize we have a huge amount of abundance in the world. We're told there isn't enough for everyone, but it's a lie. And it's only a lie that the elites are telling us to keep us small, to keep us broke and desperate. Because if we're broke and desperate, we're not going to try and revolt ourselves. We're not going to try and change the system, especially not the education system, because people will be held by fear. And the best proof of that is that we have enough food on the planet to feed everyone. Yet, over 730 million people still go hungry to this day. Why? Because of the way it's distributed. So when people buy $300,000 cars once a week, get fucking pissed, because you need to go to work and to grab your piece of the pie. Start your business before the window of opportunity closes, and then it's gone forever. Which is why you need to become fully aware that your time is limited. Every day, every week, every month that you procrastinate, it's time you're never gonna get back. It's thousands of dollars that you're missing out on. And after having spoken to hundreds of people so far, and I still speak to dozens of people on a weekly basis, every single time, I can tell you, it's always the people who make quick decisions, who take action fast, who get the best results. It's that simple. The sooner you start, the sooner you get results. Now, something else that's truly helped me to completely 10x my productivity and my whole business in general, it was to figure out what are the 20% of activities that bring me 80% of the results. Because in anything that you do, there's typically only a few key activities that give you the bulk of your results. So if you can just figure out what those are, focus on those, you're gonna get more results. Because a lot of people, business owners and even working professionals, they focus on things which don't actually matter. And then they wonder why they work 10, 12 hours a day and why their income is not increasing. That's why, because not every task is equal. Now look, it's time for you to make a choice. You can keep watching YouTube videos, but most likely you will not make more money by doing that. But if you are part of that minority of ambitious individuals who's committed to building their business so they can become financially free, I invite you to check out the free resources in the description below, or to directly apply to book a call with me or my team, and we'll see if we can help you. That being said, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, and together, let's blow up this YouTube channel to empower more individuals to become financially free. And as a way to thank you, when we get to 100,000 subs, I will be giving away $10,000.